URL Insurance Group, and I thank you as always for joining into our weekly PPACA webinars. Today is Thursday, February 18th, and we'll get right into our agenda. Just with a quick show of hands, if you don't mind, if you could just let me know if you can see my screen and you can hear me. It's always a variable. Yeah, great. All right, thanks everyone. Okay, so last week I mentioned that there was a NAHU conference call webinar on the commissions and what they're doing from a federal level to address carriers dropping their individual compensation during the special election periods. So the webinar really started with them talking about the antitrust laws and their position within the industry and how they have to approach it. And I'm paraphrasing quite a bit, but essentially what they said is that because of their antitrust laws, they can't go to bat for a specific agent or agency and can't deal directly and go to bat on these issues directly with an insurance company. So the way they're handling all of this and their concerns are to go directly to HHS and CMS and lodge their complaints and talk about how individual premiums are filed with compensation and that insurance carriers shouldn't be able to drop their compensation during SEP without reducing their rates. So, again, what they said is they take these complaints seriously, the insurance departments of the states. But what they did say is to, if you do have a complaint or if you feel that you want to write a letter to your state representative, you are encouraged to do so, or even to the insurance department itself and the insurance commissioner, because those are the letters that really make a difference, those letters from their constituents directly to the carrier and, for the specific state. So thought that was important to pass on to you. Speaking of complaints to the PID, this is more specific to consumer complaints, but if you go to pa.gov and you go into, wait a second. All right, so I think my site just changed. I apologize. I'm not sure. Insurance.pa.gov. Here we go. Consumers and I apologize. Goodness gracious. File a complaint. Here we go, under consumers. So you can go into filing a complaint and you can do so online, or you can download a complaint form. I did do that, and it's attached to your handouts on this webinar, so you'll be receiving that. And again, we're getting a lot of complaints and hearing about a lot of issues with choosing a plan that wasn't necessarily appropriate to them, provider issues, issues with billing, any of these issues that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. If you feel that your client would be better served by writing a complaint or you doing so and assisting them in that, again, those are the things that are really going to hopefully make some positive changes in this segment. So again, the handout is there for you. If you choose to use it, great. If not, it's still there for you anyway. The next bullet point is about the Medicare Marketing and Compliance Seminar that is scheduled here at URL on March 30th, 10 to 12. I think that's certainly something that anyone that's operating in the Medicare segment may want to look into attending, and that invitation should be going out soon from the Medicare Offerings Department. Another bullet point that is timely, commission inquiries to URL. Of course, now's the time that the 1/1 commissions are starting to pay and people are looking for their commissions. We have a new system that I think is beneficial to everyone. So if you go to our website and go under departments, you can drop down to commissions. And as soon as this pops up, you can submit a commission payment issue. When this is done, it gets a a tag number, and it can be monitored a little bit more closely. So I do encourage you, if you do have commission issues with Health Exchange, you know, any individual plans that are through the exchange or SHOP, the individual and group commissions or Medicare issues, click on the appropriate box and you'll be asked to give a bit of information on your client, and hopefully you can see that. Your name, last name, agent's email address, and then the client's information. And again, any little bit of information that will help. Once you hit the submit button, it goes into an automated system. You'll get an auto response back, and it will go into the task list for follow-up. So I think it's a much better way, a much more efficient way to monitor these commissions. So again, if you have any issues, I would encourage you to use that system because it's the most beneficial for you to do so. The special election periods and the proof that is required for a qualifying event, all carriers will be requesting this. CVC, again, they still don't have that new form yet. So if you do have a qualifying event and you're insured or your customer can still enroll, at this point there's no form and no proof, so continue to do that until you hear otherwise. The delay of the 1095s to 331, the delay for the carriers and employers, et cetera, filing them is causing a little bit of an issue. Kaiser Health News just put out an article basically saying, you know, the delay is causing some confusion and some heartache for the insureds that want to file their taxes. And what Kaiser said is that a consumer should file anyway, even if they don't have the 1095 form, and this is what the IRS says. If the people make a mistake on the return because they didn't have a 1095 or 1095B or C and relied on the information from their employer or other coverage providers instead, they will not have to amend their return, says the IRS. So again, if they don't have it and they're waiting around or feel they have to wait around, the IRS says they don't have to, and you know, again, it's their comfort level of what they want to do, but it could be an issue, and you may get calls about that. So let them know. They can either wait out till 3/31 and then file by the 15th, or they can file anyway and on the information that they have, and hopefully everyone was insured for 12 months, and it's a real easy process. We've been talking the last couple weeks about the errors and omissions, and NAHU in their draft letter to HHS mentioned that during SEPs, when commissions are not paid, that it leaves the agent vulnerable because there's no money transaction, so there's no agent-consumer relationship, and therefore errors and omissions is not going to cover the sale. We've worked with our E&O vendor and have received, finally, confirmation in writing, not just verbally, that our E&O that is covered, that we provide through URL, will cover those individual cases that are not compensated. They are looking to, again, amend the language, but at this point I do have it in writing that any events that would occur from the sale of an individual plan under 65 with no compensation would still be considered under our E&O, and it wouldn't be a factor as far as coverage and your protection. I would encourage you, if you are insured elsewhere through E&O, which I'm sure many of you are, call your E&O vendor and check that language, get it in writing from that vendor, so that you have a comfort level on how you should proceed during the special election period. Last week we talked also a little bit about Highmark's active choice prescription requirements, where all the Pennsylvania individual ACA members, small group members, and new to Highmark PA small group members will have an active choice program. And basically it requires anyone on a maintenance medication to either choose mail delivery or picking up your 90-day supply at a retail pharmacy. They're going to give, letters have already gone out, but when they have their first refill, they're going to get another letter saying, hey, you need to make a choice. Do you want these meds prescribed and sent to your home, a 90-day supply, or you want to pick up a 90-day supply from this pharmacy. You have to make a choice. The second fill, they're going to get a similar letter encouraging them to make a decision. On their third refill, if a decision has not been made, the prescription is going to cost the insured 100% of the cost. It's not going to be considered under the health plan, and every fill after that will not be considered under their health plan either until they make that decision. And the decision, again, is either to get that 90-day supply sent mail order to their home or pick up that 90-day supply at the pharmacy. So that's real important for you to know. That information was in last week's newsletter, and you know, again, if you want additional details, just email me or give me a call and I'll send you the information. But I'm sure you're going to get some calls on it when a prescription is denied. And that really brings us up to our open forum. Some housekeeping items. If you want to type in your questions while I'm doing the housekeeping items, just next webinar is next Thursday, the 25th, and hopefully you'll join us then. If you want to raise your hand, you can ask a question. I'll unmute you and you can ask it live. I don't see any hands, so at this point I'll just open up the questions that are typed in. Oh, it says audio is breaking up. Okay. Jay says, sounds like the IRS and DOL are setting businesses up for tax penalties and audits by telling tax filers to file without 1095. I don't think so, Jay. I think they have a lot of other things that they're looking to audit versus the individuals at this point. But hey, I'm too much of a cynic not to believe that something else isn't going on. Jim says, when I get a commission payment into my checking account from URL, should I be able to see a breakdown of that commission online? I have not been seeing it for a while. Jim, it depends if you have your commissions assigned to an agency. If you do, the agency receives the detailed information. You receive the information zeroed out with the cases that have paid. So I'm not sure if that's your situation. It may be. If you want to, I can touch base with you after the webinar and see if I can get that answer for you. But if you are assigned to an agency, you're only going to see the breakdown of the cases, not the actual commission amount. Dana says, Highmark Active Choice, what if the drug has quantity limits but is a maintenance drug? How is this going to be handled? You know what, Dana, I'm not sure about it. I would say that since they're enforcing this, that they have plans in place to take care of these, you know, anomalies, but I don't know. So I will, I'll check on that for you as well because I'm not sure. And also follow up next week with the answer for everyone else. So that brings us up to the end of the questions. As always, I appreciate everyone joining in. We will have these weekly as long as there's a need, and there has been a need for many years so far. But as always, you know, I do appreciate you joining in every week. I appreciate the feedback that you give me and the questions that are asked. It helps us be better for you, a better support system for you, and hopefully helps you be better in dealing with consumers and these oddball questions that always arise, right? So again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend and the sunshine. Have a great day. Bye-bye.